Hey guys, LaMonster here with SpiderLovers.com, and I just installed these R-35 rigid saddlebags on my ST, 2013 ST, and I thought I'd shoot a little video, do something a little bit different than I have before. Sometimes I do videos with, the whole thing's a video. This time what I did is I took pictures, and I'm basically going to explain through the pictures instead of writing a blog about it. I'll just do a little video. A lot of people ask me, hey, do you have a video for this or have a video for that? And those of you that do videos know how much work it is to do these things, but they do help. And I'm going to go ahead and go through this, and maybe it'll help somebody else in the future. Anyway, this is what you get in your kit. There's your saddlebag. These are your brackets. These are the saddlebag brackets. Didn't unpack those yet. This is all your hardware. And it's real complete kit. This here is the key tool to lock these into these brackets. Really trick setup they came up with. So we'll go through it, and hopefully this will be a help for you. Should be a fairly short video. And we'll go to the first thing. So first thing you're going to want to do is take off your right side panel. And everything here is done on the right side. The instructions that you get tell you to start on the right side. Top panel, this is the top panel. This is your turn signals here, so you know what you're looking at. I have the audio kit with the radio. So this is for the antenna wire. And I got a ground that's going to be in a way that I'm going to have to move. But basically this gives you an idea of what we're doing here. So I got my side panel off. Next I want to go ahead and pop my turn signals off. 17 millimeter nut on those. Go ahead and pull those off. Then this little side vent is going to come off and be replaced with one of the holes in it. These are the little clips that you want to take off. They give you 4 brand new ones because typically you destroy these. I figured out a better way to do it. After all these years, I figured out after the fact on my second panel. But if you don't have snap ring pliers, a screwdriver or anything, just to kind of bend those out of the way, they dig in really good, so it's kind of hard to pop those off. Alright, so here's the old one. It's popped off. Here's the new one with a hole that's located in the right place. These are the 4 new clips they give you. You want to go ahead and replace those. And there it is in place with the hole, new clips, ready to go. Alright, so these are the first brackets they tell you to bolt up. So these 2 bolts got to come out. And this is on the right side near the gas tank. Okay, this is the instructions on this. For a guy, they're perfect. There's not a whole lot of writing. It's mostly just pictures. And if you can follow the pictures, you'll be fine. But here's your big bracket. The one this side of the bracket is where the lines up with the hole in the vent you just replaced. They're telling you to put in, these are P19s. They're actually M8 by 30. These are the stock ones. These are the 30 millimeter ones. So these are the ones you're going to change out. I'm just showing you the difference so you know what you're looking for when you go through all the pile of bolts you're going to have. Alright, they give you a little piece of conduit to go over your brake lines. Put that on. They give you a little zip tie. Go ahead and zip tie that on. Zip tie is not in the picture on this, but I did zip tie it. And this is kind of dark, but this steel bracket goes on first, and then this black bracket goes on that, over the top of that, and bolts up with those 30 millimeter long bolts, the M8s. So go ahead and crank those down in place. And this is the bracket, as you can see right here, this is the bracket that's going the back of your frame. This is the right side. You can see how this is angled like this. This is one of the mounting holes. This goes inside this channel. This is actually the hole that you're going to use to mount the outside bracket right there. All right, now like I said, I have the radio kit, so I got a bunch of stuff in the way. I've also got the rack, and there's a bolt right there that's in my way. I can't get the M6 going in here without backing that off and taking the nut off. So I had to do that first off, and I'm gonna have to relocate my ground and all that good stuff. All right, so here's the bracket in place. It's all bolted up. This here is my ground strap. I actually wound up bolting it to the one mounting bolt. That's how I relocated it. So if you have the radio kit, this is a good spot to relocate it. When you're in here, you're going to want to tidy up all these wires when you bolt it up. My guidelines is when I do something like this, if I got to unplug something and route it different to make it tidy, I'll do that. I try and do everything so it's being inspected by the top brass at BRP. My trailer module was just hanging down there and zip tied up. I relocated that on top of the frame, redid the two connectors, and basically got it nice and clean. Gave me a little more room and just doesn't look like a rat's nest in there. All right, here's the new bracket you're going to be installing. This is the right side bracket, and this is the bolt that goes through this hole, and that's the hole on that we're showing right here. So there's the bracket. And these wires and this bracket are going to feed through your side panel necks, and you're going to basically connect these up to your turn signals and put this through your side panel. All right, there's a picture of it. It's going to be angled back. It'll be pretty obvious because it can't angle forward. It will hit the panel here, and it'll just fall forward if you try and lower it. So here's your wires. I always test my wires, put my turn signals on, and test them before I button everything else. You can swap these out and get them in the wrong position. So it's always a good idea to check it before you button everything up and make sure it's right. All right, here's the stock turn signal. This is the little bracket they give you, little machine's piece. It does have a keyway cut into it. So you're going to want to run your wires through it, your washer and your nut. Put the keyway in, match it up on the turn signal here, and just crank it down. Once again, 17 millimeter wrench to crank that nut down. All right, this is all bolted up. Now, one thing that they don't tell you about is the connectors have to fish down through this tube here. They're not going to fit in this little area, so you got to fish them down through the tube. It's kind of tight, but once you get them started, it goes pretty good. You're going to get little screws, one that goes here, and then one that will actually go on the bottom, and that's what holds this in place. It's very, very tidy. Here you can see my antennas bolted back up, and like I say, I moved my ground to that one bolt. And this is a little trick. I don't know why I never thought of this 5 years ago when I was pulling these things apart, but these are just ring nose pliers, and just put that over the clip, squeeze the handle, it pulls it out just right, and you can just pop them right off. And then you can reuse them if you want. So it took me 6 years to figure that out, but now you know my little trick. All right, this is the left side we're looking at, and this is that little steel bracket that we were looking at before that bolted on the bottom. This is the locator. You got to make sure that this piece of the panel goes over this locating stud. Very important. And these two holes had push pins in it. This push pin actually went into this panel. This was a dummy push pin for this stud that is now there. So here you can see where the push pin was replaced by the locator pin, and here's the stud that's going to bolt up the last bracket. Now you're going to want to do both sides, get them both sides complete, and this piece is the last piece you put on, and reason being is because you got a bracket that bolts over the top of it. And this is looking at the back side of that bracket. This is the stud with a nut on it, and this is where your little quick locks bolt into the bracket. And this is them all bolted up. Pretty clean, very sanitary if you don't have your bags on. That's one thing I really like about it. It actually gets the turn signals up a little bit higher, easier to see, especially if you're towing a trailer. It's kind of nice. And this is the saddlebag bracket itself. And that little tool I showed you at first, basically you stick it in this hole here, and you give it lines up, and you give it about a quarter turn twist, and it locks it in. Same thing here, and same thing here. And really quick disconnect, very sanitary when it's done. The engineers really did a nice job of that. I'm really impressed with it. And this is the back side of the bracket. Basically, it's not a great picture, but you have little studs right here and here. The bag sets on those studs. Then you just rotate it up, and these little deals here are what clamp the bracket. This here is your push button. That's what releases it. So when you lock the key, you can't undo the bags. The bags have to be in the unlocked position. And that was it. So if you have any questions, go to spiderlovers.com and go ahead and post something. We'll answer it best we can. My name's LaMonster on that board, and you can look me up. You can also go to the Can Am Spyder Facebook page. It's also a great place for information. And we'll get you all hooked up. Nice bags, comes off easy. Good solution if you need a little extra storage. Thanks, and this is LaMonster out.